Hello guys, this is Brian here with a post-op video update. Today is November the 4th, 2014, and here is my update about my shoulder. Back on October the 22nd, I went to the post-op visit, and they went ahead and removed the staples and took up all the bandages and all that and medical tape. And I got pictures of that if you want to see it. I think it's like 3 or 4 pictures. Um, if you don't want to look at them, that's fine. My mother was in there taking pictures of me. I don't know why. I was stoned off of Vicodin. As that's what they told me to do, is take 2 Vicodin before I show up at the post-op visit. It says, because, 2 days after surgery, and I was kind of hurting. So they took off all the medical tape and gauze and bandages and took the staples out. And surprisingly, staples didn't hurt at all. Um, I have 3 incisions. One's at the very back of my shoulder, one's on the side, and one's right here. And the one that's right here just itty bitty less than half of an inch. And it had I think it's 1 or 2 staples, and I was surprised for that little. It looks like a paper cut actually. Um, and I don't have to visit. I'm not wearing the sling anymore. They told me I can quit wearing that unless I leave the house. But she said I could temper that off. And other than that, I don't really have any pain unless I get in the bathtub or try to sleep. Sleeping is the hardest thing to do right now. I can't lay completely flat with my shoulder without a pillow, so you can't sleep in a weird position if I lay down in a bed. So some nights I'll sleep in bed, and some nights I sleep in the recliner. I've slept in the recliner in 3 days, but in the first week I did. So I go back and forth. Even once in a while, it gets stiff, so I take a tramadol. They did give me Vicodin, and I quit taking that. I think the last Vicodin I took was 3 to 5 days ago. I don't know about you, but as a weight loss surgery patient, narcotics does mess with my stomach big time and causes real bad constipation. So that's why I kind of tempered off from the Vicodin and start using tramadol. I don't have a problem with tramadol. I can function on tramadol. I could drive a car on tramadol. It's only 50 milligrams. I can take up to 2 tramadol. Don't make me goofy. Now Vicodin, it does not make me goofy completely, but it was almost to the edge of being buzzed, almost to the edge of it. Um, um, so that's why I started taking tramadol. They also gave me a prescription for Celebrex to take, an NSAID, which I have to take 8 pills from that, 8 pills to counteract the effect of that. I have to take the Curafate. You can take the liquid Curafate or the tablets. I took the tablets because that liquid's just plumb nasty. Take 4 tablets of that. Take 4 tablets of Sacrotec for anti-ulcer medicine, and also 2 heartburn medicines. Now the Curafate, you can't take a heartburn medicine with that. You have to wait an hour before or after. You can't eat while taking the Curafate. You have to wait an hour or 2 hours before or after a meal. So it's like taking pills all throughout the day, and it's kind of nerve wracking. And I think on the Celebrex bottle, uh, I think it says you must take with. Is this it? No, that's Tramadol. I think it says you have to take with this. Don't take on the empty stomach or something. And it's like nerve wracking. It really is. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 pills right there. And then my other pill, multivitamin and calcium, that's a bunch of pills right there. And pain pill if I need one, which I haven't taken tramadol. I did take one yesterday for my physical therapy. So other than that, I haven't taken one in a couple of days. I started my physical therapy yesterday, and the thing said for 3 times a week for 3 weeks, and they do another value. Then they go back to your doctor, which he owns the place, and the doctor says, "Do you need we'll determine if you need any more," which probably will. The physical therapy says good between 3 to 6 weeks of physical therapy for a shoulder problem. after surgery. And I did my evaluation yesterday, and they made me do some strengthening with my hands, and then some silly putty with my hand, and then the instrument, and basic stretching almost, trying to loosen it up, and then some other, I don't know what they call stretching exercises or whatever. They have me kind of sit here in front of a wall and kind of walk my hand up, try and get my hand above my head, because this is as high as it will raise without pain. They also had me do an exercise that will help it, kind of like if you were dusting a countertop, kind of stretch it that way. You kind of you stretch it this way, dust, like get a towel, try to dust something, try to do it like that. They also had me doing an exercise and open a door with a key and a doorknob. They tried to get me. They did that, and I had no problem with that one, except I just can't push or pull the door open with my right hand yet. And she said that's just obvious. So they try and get you to do your daily activities, like opening doors, carrying things in the house, just daily stuff that you have to do day in, day out, daily living stuff. She said I'm doing pretty good for being just post-op, and I told her, well, they didn't have to mess with the bicep muscle, so I think since they didn't have to mess with that like they thought they did, my recovery would be fast. My recovery's been going to be faster. So hopefully, on the 21st, I would know if I get to go return to work, or if I got to go get the return to work after January the 1st. I'm really praying, hoping I get the return to work on after January 1st, and I'll tell you why. And it came to the other night, I was just thinking and thinking and thinking, and I realized, well, I'm making more money this year than I did last year, and that's going to contribute. That will come into play with the Obamacare subsidy and cost sharing reduction, because I signed up for Obamacare through the healthcare.gov exchange. And sure enough, I'm on the edge. And if I make any more money in the calendar year 2014, my subsidy will be lowered and the cost sharing reduction will be lowered higher. So I could have because right now I have a no deductible plan, only $500 out of pocket limit. So I'm afraid if I make any more money for 2014, I will have a high deductible next year. So hopefully this was kind of working out perfectly. So hopefully I have to return on the 1st of January. So that's it kind of screwed one way or the other on this Obamacare. If you make too much money, if you make more than $20,000, that's where you kind of get to worry about all the subsidies come into play and things like that. So check it out yourself. If you think you're going to make out too much money, this is, at the end of the year, is a good time to plan surgery, I guess, to have this, have your problems taken care of. This Obamacare is a huge disaster on everybody. The only thing I liked about it was no pre-existing conditions. That's the only thing I liked about it. Maybe the cost sharing maybe the premium assistance, but since in the old days, insurance, in the old days before Obamacare, you could have had a decent health plan here in Texas at least. Mine was decent. Mine was $1,000 deductible towards the very end, with a $2,000 out of pocket for $250 a month, and that was and that's without the employer part. 5 years ago, we had $500 out of pocket, and it was only $150. So prior to this, you could have had a decent health plan, but now you get involved in this Obamacare crap, and you just have to watch it and make sure you do get a health plan that does cover, because on the healthcare exchange, Cigna was on there too, and Cigna had the worst health plans I have ever seen, and that's been for the last 10 years even. I've seen so many deductibles and copay holes. For instance, they had all the medical plans, you had to pay a $200 if you had, if you were admitted to the hospital for instance, for 5 days. You had the $200 admission deductible. Then you had a $200 copay per day for hospitalization, and that's not on top of your annual deductible. So, by the time that's all said and done, Cigna barely pays anything. Um, but I have always heard about that, and I have always seen they try to push Cigna on us one time or another, and we didn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's how crappy it was. Another strange thing, one strange turn of events that took place last week. I logged into Blue Cross's website to view my claims, and I don't know why. I don't know why that went blurry. Well, anyways, I went to Blue Cross's website to look at my claims because I got an email letting me know when they receive a claim, and the hospital billed my insurance company $29,000. I don't know what the contractor rate is because it's still in process. It's not finalized yet. So I called the hospital up and asked them, why is it $29,000 for outpatient surgery? That's awfully high. I've been bored for the last 2 weeks, and I got that out of my statement, and here it is for $29,249.53. Of course, I'm covering up my private information. And that's what they building Blue Cross Blue Shield. On here, I try to do a Google search for this, and not very much information out here. One little patch that says AMNIOTIC patch 3x7 centimeters has now $9,600. A little patch. It's $10,000. Let's see if you can see if it was zoom in. I don't know if you got that or not, but no wonder health insurance is high. It's because of this crap. $29,000. That's how much you would have to pay if you didn't have no insurance. So probably Blue Cross's contractor rate, I'm assuming, is probably going to be around maybe 10 to 15, maybe 15 to 20,000 when it's said and done what their contractor rate is. But that's the gross amount that they bill it in, if you didn't have insurance. Oh, another thing that happened to me was that Friday, which was October the 24th. Yeah, October the 24th. I went to pick up my short-term disability paper, and they handed me an little envelope. And I went to the car, got in the car, and we were pulling out of the parking space, and I said, "Stop! I better look at this before I drive off." Because I had a gut feeling that I didn't do it right. Sure enough, I was right. They did not fill out the form right, and it's an Aflac short-term disability form, and I think somebody told me Aflac was the most easiest out there. Somebody told me MetLife disabilities, like that, doctors that fill out pages after pages just for short-term disability. So Aflac is the one. Aflac is the only company I know of, or somebody told me that the process is very easy. And the doctor only has about 7 to 8 questions. And I looked at it. Some questions were left blank. The yes or no questions were left blank. One of the questions that were left blank, and she wrote on the side, unsure. The question was this disability caused by a work-related injury? Well, if the lady who did the form took the time to look at my medical record, she would find out the answer would be no. Because those forms that you go to the doctor and they make you fill out those forms, medical history forms and the insurance form, when you go to the doctor. Well, she took the time and looked at the forms I filled out back in June. She would find out this was not workers' comp. She put unsure, said yes or no. And she put the wrong date for my first day of disability. She put October the 1st instead of October the 20th. Because the first date of the disability would have been the day I had surgery. I mean, and then they drew arrows because I went back in there and tell them, hey, this is not done right. And the lady came back from the back and she drew the arrows and tried to make a correction. Sloppy. I mean, it looks sloppy, and I want to see if I have it somewhere around here. Just sloppy. So, and they charged me $25 to have that done. And more I thought about that, it pissed me off more and more and more. So I called them up on Monday and left the voicemail for the office manager, but the office manager didn't call me back. It was that lady, and I was explaining to her, I feel I had to pay nothing because this form is not filled out correctly at all. The questions that were just left blank, and we just took the time and looked at the medical record. What it was, they filled it out 5 minutes flat and faxed it into them and it was done 30 minutes before I got there. Because I called her and see if it was ready. She said, "Well, let me check," and they put me on hold for almost 15 minutes. And I bet you they were filling it out when I was on hold, and they say, "Yeah, it's ready. Come here and get it." So they faxed. It's time stamped date and time. So she was keeping a confident attitude with me, and I said, I shouldn't have to pay this. It's not done right at all. Really sloppy, unprofessional looking too. And I just had enough with her. I said, "Thank you, goodbye." I called back and spoke with the office manager, and I explained to her this is not done right, and said I should have paid $25 for this. She said, "Unfortunately, they can't waive the fee," but she said, "Go ahead and fax a blank form to me, and I'll fill it out and get it to you within 5 to 10 minutes." And she did, and that got taken care of. But really, when I go back to the doctor on the 21st, I'm gonna see that doctor. I'm gonna tell him that his office staff, whoever done the form, or I think her name is Vanessa, I think, did a sloppy job. Didn't do it right. They try and cop an attitude with me. Just sloppy. I'm really ticked off with that, because you paying them $25 for them to do something they didn't do right. Other than that, I'm doing okay. Hopefully, I go back to work on sometime after January. Hopefully, so I can avoid making more money for this calendar year because of Obamacare. Other than that, I'm doing okay. Also, I'd like to give everybody a special thank you for keeping me in your thoughts and prayers, and I'll include some pictures of my shoulder after they took out the staples at the end of the video. It shows a little bit of blood, so if you not want to watch that, turn that off now. Talk to you later, and thank you for keeping me in your thoughts and prayers. Bye-bye.